Why Shark Tank sucks now.
In the late 2000s, people viewed Shark Tank as more than just another reality TV show.
Hi, Sharks! Introducing lifted neurostimulation.
It was an outlet for small-time entrepreneurs to pitch their idea to millions.
What did I just make, Andy?
Pyramid scheme.
Yeah. I would spray.
The problem is now the majority of like Shark Tank deals don't even go through, and most places are just using it as like a weird ad placement. And so you're basically just like sitting there purposefully watching ads, and people don't realize it. People are like, oh, I'm watching it because I love seeing what the sharks are gonna say. But most of the time now they bring on like good products, and there's such a funnel down system now that most of the products that they bring are good. And that's not funny. It's the same like AGT. Like the best thing about Shark Tank was watching products that sucked. And you know, ones that were like niche and cool. But a lot are such like tech-based products now. And it's just boring. They make a deal, and then if you actually look it up, the deal never even went through.
And every time you say I don't know, I'd hit you with an electric cattle prod.
In the hopes of getting a deal, making the big bucks, and living out the American dream.
That's what I love about money. No emotions, no tears, just reality.
But eventually viewers began to smell blood in the water, with murmurs of fake deals, sharks scamming the entrepreneurs, and vice versa.
I text them like, you're supposed to be working. Oh no, I'm networking. Next thing you know, all the money's gone.
People began to wonder if they've been fooled. Is it all just reality TV makeup?
They're not these.
They should really just flip Shark Tank from, they should full lean into it. They should flip Shark Tank from a genuine investment show to something where they bring on idiots that have the worst products ever, and they just offer $20,000 as seed money. And if you convince them that your product's good, they'll give you 20 grand. And that's it. And they'll get like 4% stake in your company. They already do that. Yeah, but most of the products are like, we're seeking $1 million for 15% of our company. Our company is some fucking random mulch business or some shit like that. And it's like, this is boring, right? This is boring. I don't need to see this.
Angels they're pretending to be.
Well, if you look at how the show used to be, the answer seems obvious. For example, in 2001, it's a totally different animal. Japan is just emerging from what they call the lost decade, a period of absolute economic ruin. The government sets up multiple initiatives to normalize risk-taking. One of these is a TV show created by Sony Entertainment and Nippon TV. They call
Wait, Shark Tank was ripped from Japan?
it Tigers of Money.
I would like to have $250,000 to invest in my business. A business I would like to have is the first and only fast food pizza business in Japan. You can sit at home, call on your phone, and the pizza come there. If you can't eat the whole pizza...
What? So ordering pizza. He's basically saying like we're gonna have a phone-in pizza place.
Put it in the refrigerator, heat it up for later.
The premise is simple. Real people asking real investors for real.
See, but that's funny as shit. Cause what a stupid, they don't have that in all countries, but it's not, he needs $250,000 to start that idea. All you need is a pizza place and a fucking car.
One was a little bit more like sort of Sergeant Major. You know, I'm the investor and you will do as I say.
He thinks somebody told.
No, okay, let me tell you why. Because no one has done it yet, doesn't mean that it's not successful.
皆さんにご説明したいのが
But it's a compelling premise, and the show gains a cult following.
The idea that the money might yield profit to the dragons was not really in the Japanese show. It was really more like a begging show in which business people begged for money, and if they were impressive enough, they got.
However, the creators...
And that's fucking funny, right? That's a good idea for a show. Hey, I have an idea. It's a spoon and a fork. I'm looking for $500,000. And then the investor guy goes, "You mean a fucking spork?" And he goes, "Well, I mean, we're still thinking of the name." No, that already exists. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I thought about it the other day. Some shit like that.
Realize that this show has even bigger potential over in the West, where entrepreneurs are becoming the new rock stars. So they cut the negotiations down to the most important parts and make the format similar to familiar shows like The X Factor. In 2005, Dragon's Den premieres in the UK, and in 2006 in Canada.
Picture this. You're a single individual watching television alone. Wouldn't it be great if you could find like-minded individuals that love to travel and found each other on Travel Acquaintance? Travel Acquaintance is a unique. You're looking at it all the wrong way. It's not a dating.
What? Is it just a travel like hookup site where you like meet up with other tourists and hang out with them?
Service. We're not going to provide you with action.
Why not? Why would I use your service?
Reviews are mixed, but it's clear the show doesn't resonate with audiences in either of those.
Also, what an unenjoyable way to have a vacation. You get to a foreign country and the first thing you do is go on an app or a website where you're like, anybody in Anguilla? ? Oh, your resort's only 30 minutes away. You want to hang out? And then you waste your whole day hanging out with a fucking stranger that might be a piece of shit. If you want to hang out with other tourists on vacation, just walk up to the guy on the beach that looks cool and looks like you'd be friends with him and go, what's up, bro? You guys playing cornhole? Oh, yeah, man. You want to get in on the game? Boom, you're friends. And you're done.
Those countries quite yet. So Sony decides to take the same trip our founding fathers once made, to a place where it most definitely will. Land of the free. Home of the My Pillow. In America, entrepreneurship is a cultural staple at this point. And after recently having some economic hardship of their own, the TV market is begging for something like this. Sony puts producer Mark Burnett in charge of creating the show.
With the executive producer of Shark Tank.
After having success with shows like Survivor and The Apprentice, which many argue paved the way for American competition shows, he's just the guy for the job.
It's about America. It's the American dream. You know, I've lived that American dream.
And in 2009, Shark Tank Season 1 premieres in the US. The show quickly skyrockets.
These ordinary people have the ideas, but these 5 self-made millionaires have the cash.
You give up 70% of your company.
And the only 2 people that ever do, or only 3 people that ever do anything on the show, Mr. Wonderful, Barbara, and Mark Cuban. Anybody else, they just sit there. Actually, the one lady that like owns that, what's the one other woman? She owns like, what is it called? Like QCP, Lori, what does she own? Lori owns what? It starts with a Q. She owns some television fucking marketing thing. QVC, that's what it is. Yeah, she like owns or has connections with QVC. She's like the only other person.
Ideas, but these 5 self-made millionaires have the cash.
You give up 70%.
Also, Mr. Wonderful having a cameo genuinely pisses me off. Like a self-made billionaire having a cameo where you can spend $1,000 for him to give me a personalized video just pisses me off. Why are you using Cameo? Why do you need that money?
Of your company.
And I think the reason it's resonated with fans is really largely the recession. So many people have lost jobs, and America is an entrepreneurial nation.
The show gives everyone a fair chance to prove they have the next big thing. Some show promise.
I think I'm going to take Daniel's
Others show delusions of grandeur.
The Ionic Ear investment opportunity is a implantable Bluetooth technology. I'm looking for $1 million for a 15% stake in the technology.
Yeah. That's literally what I said motherfuckers ask for. Yeah, could I get $1 million? No. You want to fucking surgically implant Bluetooth? Bro, just get an AirPod. Wear headphones.
Who would you rather handling your personal belongings? This unprofessional, unlicensed, uninsured mover? Or these professionally trained, enthusiastic college foxes packing boxes?
Either way, it's fun to watch.
I mean, I would rather have them packing my boxes. I'd rather have this guy carry a fridge. Like, they're going to be more careful with delicate items, but the fucking meathead guy is probably going to be the one that needs to carry my couch. Like, I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but I'm saying, like, bro, I saw a mover, one guy. He was 6'5", 250, carried an entire couch by himself. That is so impressive. You are being stereotypical, I know. But I'm saying, like, to say you're going to have a moving business where you're just going to market, like, effectively, their business idea is we'll have hot women move your shit. What's the marketing idea, right? We're going to have hot college women move your stuff. When you have a mover, you're not even there when they're moving your shit. most of the time. You just kind of stand there or go do your own shit and let them get your stuff. They pack your stuff and do it for you, right? Like, why? This is just a terrible marketing idea.
College foxes packing boxes.
Either way, it's fun to watch, and apparently, it's even good for the community.
The problem is, right now, these people cannot get bank loans. I mean, you can barely get a mortgage right now, right, in 2010, 2011. And so certainly getting a small business loan is almost impossible. For many of these entrepreneurs with incredible ideas, these sharks are the last chance.
However, Mark Cuban's arrival...
That's not it anymore. It's never last chance. It's always like already successful businesses that just want publicity. I hate that. When they're like, hey, what are your sales looking? Hey, sharks, I'm looking for $100,000 for 5% of my company. Oh, what were your sales like last year? 35 million. Why are you here? Why are you asking sharks for effectively chump change in your mind when you are already set? Your business is already successful. This is just an ad roll. You're basically getting a free ad where people are going to buy your shit.
In season 2 flips everything on its head, and fans get their first hint that the show might not be as charitable as advertised.
The minute we brought Mark Cuban, our first billionaire, onto the show, everything changed.
2 contestants who refuse offers to be on the show reveal that it's because at the back of their contract is a clause that states every contestant has to give the production either 2% of all their profits or 5% equity in their company. Most savvy entrepreneurs wouldn't be willing to give an automatic stake at their company just for appearing on the show. Mark hears about this and is outraged. He gives ABC an ultimatum. Either they remove the clause or he walks. Fortunately, they fold under the pressure and remove it, and Mark posts about his victory on Facebook. Fans applaud, but it turns out this isn't the only case where the show slighted entrepreneurs. In 2013, former NFL player Al Bubba Baker goes on Shark Tank to get help for his struggling boneless rib business.
Sadly, I married a woman that doesn't like ribs because they're too messy. So I vowed to find a way for my wife to be able to enjoy ribs. But how do you make ribs less messy? You take the bones out.
The show was putting itself out there as the American dream.
And the purpose for...
That's actually a good-ass idea. I hate getting my hands dirty on ribs. That is a fucking great idea. I love ribs. I hate eating ribs. Ruins the fun? No. If I could pay for you to just give me ribs in a fork and just be like, they're already cut up, it's off the bone, love it. Chicken wings, love the experience. I don't want you to debone a chicken wing for me. I want the chicken wing. Ribs, though, it's big and clunky, and I'm going like, and trying to rip it off? No.
For marketing and, gaining capital, because that was a hard thing for us to do back around 2012.
You can't eat ribs? When I used to be able to eat ribs. Why do people got to be a dick about that shit? Yeah, I can't eat ribs anymore. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, Joe, you can't even eat ribs. I'm still saying it's a good idea. I've eaten ribs in my life.
Oh, we just come out of a bad economy.
His pitch is flawless, and he gets 2 offers.
So my offer is very simple. I'll give you the $300,000, but I want 49%.
That idea is so brilliant. I'll do the exact same deal, but I'll only take 30%.
Bam, Kevin.
This greedy savage, his deal is horrible.
He's never done a deal like this. Al, let me clear.
Kevin got a fucking diamond earring the price of a house.
Clear it up for you. I think you're paying a very expensive price for somebody to make a phone call for you that you could do on your own.
Ultimately, he goes with Damon John's offer of $300,000 for 30%.
Well, he already had me at the first taste of the ribs, but then when he pulled out, the cherry on top was Kevin O'Leary, who, who's really not a bright guy, was interested into it, and I knew that I can make a profit and at the same time as stabbing Kevin O'Leary.
3 years go by, and on the surface, Bubba's living the dream, and Damon is parading the business around as a $16 million success story. However, all the way in 2023, the Los Angeles Times comes out with a report where Bubba and his family claim that behind the scenes, what began as their Shark Tank dream has been a nightmare.
We thought we were on our way up, and unfortunately, it's been a downhill battle.
But before I just take the report at face value, I want to run it by the sponsor of today's video, Now back to Bubba. Apparently the problems start right after they finish filming the episode. Damon suddenly changes his offer to $100,000 for 35%. If you're in that environment, you're not asking a lot.
He was going to give $300K for 33%, $100K for 35%. What a terrible offer switch. He wants a higher percentage and a third of the money he gives in return.
He said, "It's Damon John. My wife and daughter would have killed me if I said I wasn't signing this."
She said, "Hey, Dad, our future's in your hands."
No pressure at all.
Damon then introduces Bubba to his friend Nate, a former Shark Tank contestant turned close colleague.
Damon, I'd be crazy to not want a partner like you. I accept 100%.
My man.
Who's gonna deal with all the technology
and they just
stuff?
seem like Sims, like the whole thing, the whole Shark Tank process just seems like Sim character shit. Damon, I'd be crazy not to say yes to you. It's like he's reading a teleprompter.
You know, the website, the advertisements, the bank accounts. We had never even sold one bottle of sauce on the internet. This was gonna be the genius to set us up. However, he only creates problems. First, on the day their episode is supposed to air, the website isn't ready to go until 3 hours beforehand. And while they do end up making around $250,000 in online orders, they have to
The day of they made, that's still crazy. They made $250,000 the day the fucking episode released. That already made the fucking money back.
fund nearly 14% of that because Nate fails to set up sales tax. Nate also has control over the business bank account, ignoring Bubba's requests for statements. When Bubba complains to Damon, he reportedly shrugs it off. "I'm not asking you to kiss him. This is just business." Finally, the Bakers decide they don't want Nate a part of their business anymore.
There were a lot of red flags with him, and it took us some time to convince Damon to have him removed from our business.
When he eventually does leave, he decides to take one more thing with him: the Bakers' bank account.
He wiped out our business bank account. There was about 100.
That's illegal. Is he? I understand they're upset about this. Shouldn't they be able to fucking sue him? They're like, he's just stealing their money.
And he mailed us a check for $8,000.
That's not good. They ask Damon where the rest of the money went, and he says Nate deserved it.
People are probably like, why didn't you just stop with Nick?
I'm now understanding why people don't accept deals from Damon anymore. He never really offers deals anyway. I'm now understanding why people don't work with Damon.
And it was because of me, because it was my dream and my goal. And my dad's favorite saying is always, I'd rather be the yeoman on a smooth sailing ship than the captain of a sunken ship.
Unfortunately, Nate is the least of their problems. 2 years go by, and Damon is parading the business around as a 16.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, they have it in the store. Like, is this just supposed to be like some TV dinner?
$1 million success.
Yeah, full rack, fully cooked.
Story. He says it's one of his biggest deals ever. But there's one problem. The Bakers say they ultimately receive just 4% of that $16 million. And that's not all. After a $5.8 million.
But how? They get I understand there's expenses, but Damon only has 33%. They only get 4% of their own company's revenue.
$1 million deal with Carl's Jr. and Hardee's. The Bakers yield a total of $2,900. Well, that's a
Oh yeah, I'd fucking crash out. Where's the rest of the money going? Is Damon somehow getting more?
Problem.
We're thinking to ourselves, hey, Damon, aren't you
They got a $6 million deal with Carl's Jr. and only got $2,000 out of it.
$1 deal?
Hopefully.
So we're thinking he's going to align with us to try to figure out a breakdown of where this money went from $5.8 million. Instead, Damon John band together with the co-packer, Rastelli Foods, to file a lawsuit against us because they wanted to move forward with a Subway deal.
Rastelli Foods Group is a family business with family values.
I hate when people say that shit. We're a family farm. We're a family business. 99% of the time, that's not true. 99% of the time, yeah, we're a family business because 3 of the fucking family members work at this fucking, whatever business you're running, meatball shop, farm. But it's just a big conglomerate business that's run by fucking 1 million other workers and generates $800 million in revenue. Get the fuck out of here. When I hear family business, I'm thinking of like a local Italian joint.
Family ethics. We have to make a very clear distinction. No one works for Rastelli. They work with Rastelli. It's a very clear distinction.
The Bakers say they're completely shut out of negotiations and accuse both Damon John and Rastelli Foods of trying to take over their business.
But you never knew at one time how much revenue you were actually generating.
Absolutely not.
And there was no way for us to like log into a bank.
Was that even a part of the original contract though? That I feel like that's also just bad business proceedings with Damon outside of the show.
Storage was this month.
Eventually, they come to a deal to settle the whole Carl's Jr. situation, and the Bakers have to sign a confidentiality agreement. However, by 2019, legal fees pile up. The Bakers are forced to sell their house at a loss, Bubba's restaurant closes, and his truck is repossessed. So in a last-ditch effort to try and get back what they feel is theirs, they break the confidentiality agreement and go public with everything. Needless to say, Damon isn't happy, especially since at the same time he's trying to break off his affiliation with Nate.
Nate Holzefeld.
Nate pleaded guilty to fraud,
affiliation with,
and sexual battery.
Registry.
Who's sentenced to 15 years in prison for multiple counts of sexual battery and having a side hustle where he would get girls on Tinder to sign their houses over to him, which he would then sell.
What? He would convince women from Tinder to give him their houses?
Unfortunately, the way this system works is that you do get a little bit hung before you're...
How would you even convince somebody of that? Like, I don't want to say the people that he was talking to had to be crazy, but for you to have a random guy hit you up on Tinder and then 2 weeks later you to fucking give the deed of your house to that guy.
Or even tried. Innocent until proven guilty in America, and in part, thanks to KSL.
Well, you pleaded guilty.
Damon posts a video in response to the Bakers.
I'm making this video to address this LA Times article that Al Bubba Baker and Brittany Baker intentionally broke their confidentiality and put out and shopped to this reporter. And at best, it's not true, and that's me being kind. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I want you to always stand up for yourself, no matter what position you get in life, just like I am. Don't sit back and think, oh, the truth is going to set us free because I have the truth, but I'm under confidentiality and I can't put the truth out there in detail.
But if they broke the confidentiality, wouldn't you also be entitled to do the same?
It also could potentially affect your family, your loved ones, the people that have worked on this project and invested in it. When your family's out there and because of public opinion, these people now, after the LA Times article is out, they're online damn near harassing me at this point and putting up a lot of falsities, and I will not stand for that.
He files a permanent restraining order on the Bakers, prohibits them from making...
What? Okay, now I don't know what to think. If that restraining order went through, he had to have some sort of thing to prove that. He filed a restraining order on their family?
Making any future disparaging comments and forcing them to remove all previous ones. However, in their lawsuit against him, he ends up paying them settlement money.
Practically speaking?
Oh, okay.
To me, to an outsider to that situation.
How did he get a restraining order on them, though, if he was the one in the wrong?
Versed in lawsuits, the fact that John paid the Bakers settlement money, to me, that means he probably did mistreat them in some way. Now, maybe he didn't, but again, that doesn't mean that...
Well, that doesn't mean that it's not going both ways. That doesn't mean that he does have the right to have some sort of restraining order, but he is also, you know, the one that was poking them to even act that way in the first place.
Now talk bad about him, because if he said that he'd pay them for, at least in part, silence, then they just got to shut it up.
Bubba's not the only one to run into a problem like this.
I mean, if you read the article, there was 2 or 3 other companies in that article.
As the years go on, the audience gets bigger, and so do a lot of other things.
I mean, it's a beast of a machine for distribution. So I've just found the deals are getting better and better every year, and this year...
Because they narrow them down more, and now it's only good products that are already successful, and it's boring.
...of the investments we can make, because the companies have sales.
The publicity factor alone becomes a huge draw. If I'm on the show, I'll be accepting any offer necessary to get the happy edit and the victory music. That just becomes a 15-minute primetime ABC commercial that would otherwise cost me millions of dollars. Then it gets replayed around the world in reruns, costing tens of millions.
Yeah, and even if you don't get a deal, a lot of them go in with like crazy ass numbers purposefully to not get a deal. Or they go in with very modest numbers, get a deal, and then behind closed doors they could just back out. Because just because they shake hands doesn't mean it has to go through. They still have to do a lot of legality work.
Millions more. This ends up coming around to bite the Sharks in the end. In 2013, the tank sees a pitch so good that all 5 Sharks invest. Breathometer. Breathometer. It takes the concept of a breathalyzer and turns it into another physical device that relies on an app to function.
And then it turns your phone into a real functioning breathalyzer.
Who would just get a fucking handheld breathalyzer? I have one. What the fuck? Why does every company have an app now? Why is everything about an app? And that's also why Shark Tank sucks fucking horsecock now, is because half of the shit is just too high tech. And it's annoying. It's just like, people on like from Cali that are trying to start some new and improved app that's gonna change my life, but it's some run-of-the-mill fucking shithole fitness app that works the same as every other goddamn place. Why would I buy a device that I plug into my phone to tell me my BAC when I could just buy a device that tells me my BAC?
You want to carry one of these bulky old breathalyzers around. So that's why I created
a smaller one.
Breathometer.
I'm still not putting this in my pocket, man. The Sharks take the bait, each of them pitching in hundreds of thousands of dollars.
From the entire team of the Sharks. I'm ecstatic right now. I have no words. I'm shocked.
But soon it becomes clear Charles isn't quite the entrepreneur they thought.
You also got to think how many people are buying breathalyzers.
He was.
The guy, Charles.
That's not a big business.
I look at his Instagram and he'd be in Bora Bora. And I look at his Instagram.
This guy's shit.
Yes.
What?
2 weeks later, and he'd be in Vegas partying, then he'd be on Necker Island with Richard Branson. And I text him like, what the yeah, so that was my biggest beating.
Do you blow up on these?
So he basically took the money, ran, and didn't work for the business.
Guys, or you just say,
There's no point. Yeah, there's no point. It ain't going to change. Ain't gonna
maybe he was testing the product, though. Probably testing the
He was testing the product. He was getting drunk in Bora Bora so he could see if the fucking app worked.
This would be a fair explanation. However, this is where things get even worse.
And the most important question is, are you safe to drive?
No. It turns out the device is having problems of its own.
You don't blow into it. You just fucking go... Like I have like hot rice in my mouth and I'm like... That doesn't work, bro.
It's analyzing my breath right now, my whiskey breath. And it gave me a 0.00.
Wow.
Apparently, I have not had a single thing to drink. So that's actually one of my critiques of this thing.
In 2016, the FTC calls Charles, telling him they've received numerous complaints of false advertising, and that he needs to take the breath of...
Well, yeah, that's also unsafe because then some people might think that they're sober enough to drive. Because if you're at a 0.08, some people don't really recognize that as much. And it's reading that you're a 0.02. You might get in your car and that's unsafe.
Feature off of his breathalyzer app. Breathometer settles with the FTC over deceptive advertising. Of course, his angel investors wouldn't be too happy to hear this.
When we started this journey with you, it was breathometer. We were testing alcohol levels in blood. Now the information coming out of the company is almost completely different. New product line, new direction, new partners. What happened to breathometer? Is it still going to sell? Are you going to continue developing it? Or are you just going to throw it off the slate?
Rather than shutting down the operation, Breathometer, the breathalyzer company, decides to change markets.
Essentially, Breathometer is a breath analysis platform.
What?
We were looking to expand and go really deep into alcohol, but we realized that there was a much larger opportunity, like oral health.
What?
So we're moving into things like oral health care.
Minty fresh breath. I need to fucking get a product that I have to download an app with to tell me if my fucking breath stinks. Chew some gum, dummy. What?
Hydration, fat burning, asthma, even you can go as far as diabetes and lung cancer. I physically can range and apply breath detection to a variety of things. Everything is extreme as to lung cancer, to diabetes.
I'm telling you right now, your product's not going to tell somebody if they have lung cancer.
Really? In the end, this doesn't work, and Breathometer is forced to refund all the customers. The lesson learned here, well, the money certainly...
All 7 people that bought it.
...helped Charles's case. The publicity is all he needed to get his product off the ground. A shark recommending a product is basically a celebrity endorsement, and having packaging with the as seen on Shark Tank logo is enough for any product to fly off store shelves. Charles isn't the only person to take advantage of this.
Here's a really important message. Please pay attention.
QVC is also just a fucking piece of shit, dude. I understand it makes a lot of money on old people, but like the idea of just watching an entire television show that's just marketing me stuff, which is Shark Tank, but also just literally infomercials. I'm gonna watch 7 hours of infomercials.
There are hundreds of scam ads out there using my name, my face, and these scammers are getting good. They're saying things like this.
Hello, Shark Tank here. I'm Lori Greiner.
Dive deeper with the shark effect. Tune into our genuine keto secret. Hi, everyone.
Oh my God, Lori has a new keto secret product. That might be something I invest in.
Today, I will share a secret method on how to lose weight as quickly as possible without dieting or going to the gym. This is our only officially licensed product. Shark Tank in the house.
They are fake. They are scam ads. Do not pay attention.
Remember in season 1 when they had this intro?
These ordinary people have the ideas, but these 5 self-made millionaires have the cash.
Well, as the years go on, more and more of the contestants have both the ideas and the cash, and don't need much financial help at all.
The Lark bottle.
Yeah, they're just an ad.
It's the world's first
And they already have like 9 other fucking investors.
These? Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Great.
You do?
That is awesome.
I do.
We raised our...
He already has the product. Damon already owns the fucking water bottle. But that'd be like actual Walmart coming into fucking Shark Tank and going, yeah, we're gonna start up grocery stores. Dude, no way I've shopped at your store before.
First round of venture capital in 2013 after we launched the app. And then we raised our second round in 2015.
What has happened is we've gotten more and more sophisticated applicants, that most entrepreneurs that walked in the door in season 1 and 2 are asking for $10,000, $20,000, had no sale, but had a simple product and a dream in their hand.
The producers and sharks see it as a good thing. However, as the years go on, it becomes a noticeable trend. Longtime fans start to protest the change. I miss the old days when it was about people who were truly getting started and needed help, instead of everyone already having a $1 million+ valuation at the gate.
I'd like to thank you all for letting me take...
All right, that's basically the same point I was making. Now, if you have millions in sales, a client base, 30K customers, they don't even bat an eye at you. That's what I'm saying. They don't care about you anymore unless you already have a successful product. That's why Shark Tank sucks. Boom, video done. Editor, cut it.